Welcome to ARW. I'm Harold, the CEO, the director, the producer, the camera grip, the funky, in fact, the only guy here. And today we're going to work on this vice collaboration started by Nigel Walton, and I assume these are going to be called Walton Vices when it's over. It would seem reasonable. But today I'm going to finish up my part of it. I've got to make the little piece. Well, let me show you the vise. There's a little piece that goes in this gap here. You see that little gap to keep the screw from moving back and forth, you know, in and out. And that's called, I think, the end plate, something like that. I don't remember what it said on the drawing now. But anyway, that's the piece that I've got to make 3 of. I know it's got, I think, an 11mm hole in the middle, and it's 2.5mm thick. And I've got the drawings there. I'll of course consult them before I get started. And I've also got materials. Nigel was nice enough to send this piece of brass along with it. Should be enough to make the 3 pieces I need. And of course these 3 pieces are going to be cut in half, so there'll be 6 pieces. And then there's going to be more threading on the more threading on the mill in these vices. I really hate that part, you know. And I think it's an even smaller screw, which is really worse for me because I don't do well with tiny taps. So hang on and wait for the disaster. There's bound to be one. Okay, I've got the lathe all greased up. I've changed the chuck jaws back over to the normal ones, and we're ready to get started. Okay, I don't need the maneuverability that I had with the lantern tool post, so I've taken it off and replaced it with this quick change tool post. I've changed the jaws of the chuck, and we're going to make this thing fit the drawing. That's 29.9mm. We got to go down 2mm smaller. That's 0.70, I think, in inches. 0.070. Let's ask Siri. Convert 1.9mm to inches.
It's 0.075 inches.
Okay, sounds good to me. 0.075, so that's 20 of it right there. Now we need an 11mm hole in the center. I don't have metric drills, as you know, so we're going to have to come close with inch drills and then switch to a boring bar. Alright, I'll bring you back. Alright, we'll start out drilling and then we'll go to boring. Of course, drilling's always kind of boring to me. As you can see, this is pushing the stupid thing back in the chuck. Hard drilling brass. Alright. And I may have a lot of dull drill bits also. Not at all certain about that. That'll be pretty tight. be deep enough for that. Now then we got to put on the boring bar. Take a break while I get the bar. Alright, it's 10.29 millimeters right now. So I would say there's a few thousandths to go. I'm sure at least 20. But we'll take parting tool time. You know what they say, parting is such sweet sorrow. And then 0.098. All right, now we'll part off the next one. That's 3 of them. So I'm going to turn off the camera and measure things and see where I go next. Okay, so what I did here is I got a gauge pin that exactly fit the hole in the end of the vise. And then I set this guy up where he was on 0 all the way around. Okay? And I also ran him up and down until this guy was straight up and down as well. So we know that everything's lined up, and right in the middle of that's got to be 0. Okay, I put the stop right down against that vise. Now, I don't know how good that's going to do to keep us accurate from vise to vise. I'll have to put the indicator back in there and 0 them up every time, each one individually. But that at least will give me a place to start, you know. All right, let me get the drills and the bits and the measurements, and we'll be right back. Alright, so I've got this guy marked at every 45-degree angle. And then mark you see running left, right, that's the center of the thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this little center drill and I'm going to put it at the intersection of each of those lines and drill a little hole. And then they will be permanently marked in the right spot. That's wobbling. Did you see that? Can't be in the right spot or something. Okay, so we're going to drill on the intersection of each one of those. Right there's one. I don't like the way these little guys are moving around because they're not being consistent, I don't think. What we'll do now is we will get the tap drill and try it in there, or at least a larger one. So I haven't picked it out yet. I'll let you guys rest while I find it. Okay, so I got the drill bit that's going to bring the hole to the size. It's not a tap drill, it's just a clearance drill. We're not tapping this. Okay, so with the little chuck, we got much better results there. Nice little hole right on the intersection. The other one was right on the intersection, but it worried me because the hole was kind of wide. This one's just right, so hopefully we can back it up. It's kind of tight. And drill the clearance hole. Let's come down lower. I think this one will hold it just right for drilling the clearance hole. I'll leave the bit in it. That way I can't confuse it with anything else. Alright. We're going to do this same thing 3 more times. So you've seen it once. I'll do the other 2 off screen or off camera or whatever. Alright, so the way that I've been positioning each vise is to put a gauge pin in it that fits straight and tight. Chuck it up, set it right there so that the chuck has got it positioned straight up and down, and then tighten the vise. And I want to get a substantial thread. And I'm going to put a screw in it just to make sure it doesn't move. It's the best way I know to keep a redneck from messing up. There we go. Where's my wrench? Oh boy, I keep losing my wrench. Usually it's laying right there and I look everywhere for it, but it's not there now. So this is where we interrupt the sad saga of the idiot and the vices. Now there you can see I've got 2 vices all put together. They're all, as far as I know, completed, except for being painted and having the Walton tag put on them. And over here is vice number 3. Now I was working diligently away on this vice, although the holes were not properly spaced on this one, and I had tapped threads into this here, this guy. I got down to that hole right there and I broke a tap right in it. So from here we're going to go to the bandsaw right there, and see that chunk of metal? That's the vice jaw, or at least it's going to be eventually, and it will take the place of that mess right there. Everything was going good, but Bozo showed up at the last minute and helped me with that last hole, and there we are. So we'll do better on the next one anyway. It'll look better, it'll be better, everything's going to turn out better. Alright? At least that's the way I look at it from here. I like to see it that way. So you guys tune in about a week for the last vice, and we'll tell you all about it. In the meantime, let's see what Bubba's doing. Bubba got himself a new job. Bubba got himself a new job down at the flour mill, and so every day he come home, he'd bring his wife a bouquet of flowers. And this went on for months, you know, and she was just happy she could see him home every day. And then one Monday he come in there and he didn't bring home no flowers. Tuesday, no flowers. Wednesday, no flowers. Thursday, no flowers, you know. So after supper, she said, Bubba, honey, she says, have I done something to make you mad? He said, no, sugar. He said, you ain't done nothing. She said, well, she says, you, for a long time, you've been bringing me flowers home every day after work. She says, and you ain't brought me no flowers at all this week. He said, oh, he says, yeah, he says, you know, he says, they closed the shortcut through the cemetery.